Hi everyone, this is Sarah with Divine Love Healing. I hope you guys are all doing well. Um, Obviously, it has been quite a minute since I have recorded a video, just as I think probably was telling you guys that my intention was to come on here and really start ramping up with the content that I was going to offer as a thank you to all of, the new subscribers as a welcome, and then, a thank you to those who have supported me over the years. But, as we know, things don't always go according to our own plan, and there's always a divine, different plan that is in place. And I ended up getting COVID at the end of June, and really didn't share that a lot with, other than some close friends and family. Didn't really even feel that terrible. Didn't really even know I had it until probably 6 days in. And the only reason I took a test was because I lost my taste of sense and smell. So it was kind of a lot to deal with. Just that, I still haven't got my sense of smell and taste totally back. Just knowing that I had been around others and potentially exposed them unintentionally. I had a lot of other personal issues going on in my life as well that same week. And here we are going on 3 weeks later, and I'm still, if you guys can hear me, obviously talking, I've still got quite a bit of congestion going on. So it's not been it's not been a great time, but at the same time, these difficult challenges and these things that experiences that we go through, they do bring growth and they bring appreciation for the things that you have. So that's update one. So my apologies again for the delay of getting more content out here. And I also haven't been as good as posting on Instagram and things like that. Although I would encourage you to still follow me there. I definitely post things that you won't see on YouTube. And I did do a new moon and a full moon update for those most recent moon cycles, and I do try to do those each time. Another change, you guys, obviously you're used to seeing me for the last, how many years have I had my channel, right? I think 3 years now. Usually you see my face on screen, and I wanted to try something different just to change things up. I've been meaning to do this for a while. That way I feel like you can maybe see the cards better as I'm describing them versus me holding them up. Sometimes there's a glare with the camera. But I would love to hear your feedback and let me know if you miss seeing my face, if there's, if you get more out of that, as if it's a one-on-one reading interaction with me to experience my energy that way, then I'm absolutely open to going back to that format, or just, maybe alternating how I do it. I do have to say that, I could probably get out more content to you guys if I have my face off screen, because, I could be a total hot mess, no makeup and wearing whatever, and come on here and you guys will only see the cards and you won't know that. So it's definitely a trade-off. It feels a little weird having this format, and I'm hoping that it all goes smoothly and you guys can see everything okay. But like I said, I'd love to hear your feedback. So the purpose of this reading, as you guys could probably tell from the description, is that Leo season is upon us. I can't believe how fast this summer's going. It's absolutely crazy how fast time is flying by. I am recording this on Saturday, the 16th of July, and next Friday, the 22nd of July, is when Leo season starts. So what I wanted to come on here was, to provide for you guys. And again, it does not matter if you are a fire sign, even though I'm using my fire sign vibes deck. There are energies that regardless of the our astrological makeup in our chart, the energies have an impact on us, right? Some seasons, sometimes some transits more than others, but the more you learn about astrology, the more you start to realize, wow, it seems like without fail, come the end of July, August, when Leo season gets here, stuff really starts to shift fast. There seems to be a lot of awakenings around this time. There seems to be a lot of ascension, a lot of growth, and a lot of progress and momentum from the seeds that we planted during Earth season, during Taurus season, in the spring. And then, of course, we just came off of the Capricorn full moon, which also, even though it was a full moon, I definitely felt manifesting energy with that one. So, it's just, we're about to see major, major, major shifts. If you haven't had it happen already, I would say buckle up, because, and I view it typically as a positive time. The eclipses, that we had in April and May, those can be kind of challenging, right? When you resist that energy, that the eclipses bring of one, forcing you to try to cut out things that no longer serve. It can be a very, very heavy energy. It can be very sad. It can be, just a very trying time to go through that death and rebirth process. But for me, I feel like Leo season and, the Lionsgate portal, which is on 8/8 every year, just a phenomenal time for things to happen for us. So I am going to timestamp this, as I always do. I have started noticing on YouTube, with some of the other videos that I have been watching, that there is a new feature, or it's just something that people are starting to use, called chapters. Now, I think I have, the way to do that. I think I'm able to do that on my end, to make it easier for you guys to actually click on the clip, the scene of the one that you want to go to, the one that you choose. So if for some reason that does not work, then I will obviously still have the timestamps there as well that you can still reference. So in addition, I always will list the decks that I'm using. I'm using some of my decks and some from other creators, and some that are available on Amazon. So there will be links to that down below. And then let's see. Oh, last but not least, I am planning on recording a separate video, a collective reading, most likely, versus a pick a card, on the Lionsgate portal and what those energies are going to bring in. So stay tuned for that, guys. And I'm really hoping, like I said, I can start bringing you all some more content. And I would also love to hear your feedback. So let's get started with number one, which is the Carnelian. Okay, guys, I'm going to set this here, and we're going to experiment with seeing how this goes, with setting up the cards, trying to stand them up so you guys can see. And I will probably, I'm just going to flip them on my end here just so I can assess. Although I pre-shuffled, I have not seen them, so I'll need a moment, as usual, to go through them. We did, in some cases, have instances where two cards from the same deck wanted to come out. I also have other decks here that you can't see on camera, so if I need to grab, something to clarify, I will do that also. Wow, that's insane. Not bad, don't worry. I just love when Spirit does this kind of stuff. Whoa. Whoa, 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 guys. And so I don't know if I clarified exactly what this is. I did talk about the energies, right, of Leo season and how we're all affected, but this is really just to look at, the fire sign vibe. What, it could be a shadow, something that, is typical in Leo season of fire signs that's going to be affecting you, or just something that Spirit is encouraging you to do. So the reason that I was freaking out here, guys, was we had two fire sign vibe cards that wanted to come out. And the first one was the Lion, which is Leo, the natal chart key. So in some instances, the seasons do change every year. I have on here July 23rd to August 22nd, but this year, Leo season starts July 22nd. So, the dates are, a little bit relative, depending on what year, you're seeing this. Um, but the lion, the fact that we're talking about Leo season vibes and the lion came out, this tells me this is a very pivotal time for you to manifest what it is that you want, what it is that you are seeking, that you have the power. And we'll get to that in a moment with all these cards that I'm seeing. But I'm getting that, you're on the fence about taking a risk, most likely in the romantic sense. Um, and your thoughts, like you're too much in your head about it, about something not happening. You yourself could be a Leo, or the person you're dealing with could be a Leo. You may have Leo in your chart, but what I'm picking up on mostly for this is that this specifically, I mean, we're focused on Leo season, but I feel like for group one, for you guys, this is just like, I'm just getting like the time is now. This is the time to pick up the wand, to pick up, like, you have all the tools at your disposal to bring what it is that you want in your life, but you got to get out of your head. So the other fire sign vibe that we got was adventurous, which you guys can see that one has potentially, it could be a little sexual overtone to it, right? There's definitely other romantic cards here that indicate a romantic relationship beyond this one, but this one clearly clarifies that, right? So I'm getting that for some of you, you are being encouraged to take a risk. For the tarot card clarifier, which, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, I'm using a new deck that I recently purchased during my COVID quarantine, July 4th weekend. I was watching these videos and I saw this reader using the dragon tarot, and I absolutely love it. And of course, dragons have a lot of fire energy, right? So of course I would want to use them for this. But we got the shaman, which in this deck is the magician. So, as the magician, you have all the tools. You can see the wand here, you can see the sword, you can see the pentacle, and the cup. And oh my goodness, guys, look at this. The cup here is on fire. It's like you have these like feelings for somebody, and it's like boiling over. Like you're having trouble containing it, and it's actually morphed into like, because you can see kind of rising from the ash, or rising from the flames of this cup, there's this green, which green is like the heart chakra. It's like cannot be contained, and it's gotta like come out in the physical form, in the physical world, is what I'm getting. That's why I'm getting like take a risk. But the shaman, again, as the magician card, it's about manifesting this. It's about bringing it in. So we're gonna just, and you have the power to do that, is what I'm being shown. What's interesting, really, really interesting, guys, with the Mystic Moon, I have the old version, but I think she calls it the Twin Flame Oracle now. It has a lot of other concepts in it, shadow work, just general. I just like the Oracle deck, right? It's definitely not, all the cards are definitely not about, the Twin Flame journey. And two cards, I shuffled, and two cards wanted to come out from this deck. And the crazy thing is, we got Union, and we got Karmic Partner. So as you can see here, there's three people. There's three people here preventing, and then you've got the union with the two. So what I'm getting here is that either I feel like with the last full moon, the fact that we have a full moon here in both cards also, which is definitely not the case in this deck. I feel like with the last full moon, either this most recent full moon in Capricorn that was July 13th, or the one that was in June, it would have been sometime in the middle of June, that this karmic cycle, I feel like it was released, and I feel like there has been this doorway to open to the possibility of what it is you're trying to manifest. Either, you know, you were in a karmic relationship that wasn't working for you, so you walked away from that, or the person that you're desiring did so, right? So either way, something was blocking this. I'm getting that the door is open. That's because we're being encouraged to manifest it. We're being encouraged during Leo season because we got the lion. The lion is also, we didn't get the tarot card. There's a tarot card key in here for strength, right? But the lion archetype is associated with the strength card, which is number 8 in the tarot, which is August, right? 8/8. So I'm getting that there is an opportunity blossoming here for this to come together if you or this other person, right? It you know, could be, take it how it resonates. But if you are the one who has been holding back, you know, hiding in the tent, you know, and like not willing, like you can see too, like if you don't take this card as like a sexual connotation, it could just be that this person's trying to escape, like they're getting they're drowning in, right, they can't, they have to break free from the feelings are consuming them. So that could be you, that could be the person you're dealing with. So guys, it's probably not the most attractive thing to look at, my my elbow like sticking out in front of the camera, but you know, this is a work in process, so we'll figure it out. But I feel like you guys can see the cards pretty nicely there. But so with all of that, right, you know, I obviously was picking up on that energy without this card, but with this fairy spiritual guidance that we got, admit your true feelings to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. So I feel like this could go either way, right? I got a couple of different messages coming in with this one. That you, the viewer, could be the one who is trying to suppress your feelings for somebody, and you're the one that's being encouraged to take a risk and you know, put yourself out there. And I feel like with each moon cycle that goes by, right, with the full moon here, by the time we get to, let's say we have the new moon in Leo at the end of July, so there's going to be obviously a full moon sometime, you know, probably in the middle of August. By the time that comes, like, I just feel like it's almost going to get unbearable. This could also be, you know, if you are, I was for the most part picking up on a karmic cycle that's ended, but I'm getting, you know, for some of you, maybe you are in a karmic relationship that isn't fulfilling you, right? That's why we got karmic partner here, and this is really, you know, the true feelings that you have are really for someone else, and you're just not admitting it to yourself, and you're suppressing it, and it's like, you know, about to consume you. So I'm getting, like, whatever the case is, Leo season, because again we have the lion here, you know, as the fire sign vibe during, you know, the Leo season reading. It's just huge pivotal time for you guys. But again, only you know what it is that you truly desire, and you're being shown again that the shaman, with, you know, you hold all of the tools to make it happen. Okay. So we'll just set this here. Just lay that there, guys. Okay. Now, the reason too that I said, you know, I was picking up that you're too much in your head is because obviously you're suppressing something in the shaman card. We're seeing that, and you aren't admitting your true feelings to yourself. For your animal totem affirmation, we got, I clear negative thoughts and change my reality. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. Also, look what it adds up to. 3, 5 adds up to an 8. I mean, just insane, because we've got the lion archetype represented, which represents strength. We've got the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. We've got August as being, I feel like, a very, very pivotal time here, where something is like brewing and like boiling to the surface. And it's like, it's almost like the fact too that you picked the carnelian flame. I mean, there's just so much passion. Carnelian is associated with the sacral chakra. So, and I'm just blown away because, this was a random shuffle when I did all these, and I don't know that I could feel, there's really not many that I can think of that would be a better match, because, this is very much magician energy. This is very much manifesting energy. I clear negative thoughts and change my reality. So it's like fear and you getting in your head and telling yourself all the reasons that you shouldn't take this leap of faith and admit your feelings and pursue this, right? This is what you want. And perhaps you've been settling for something else. Or just, like you've just got in your mind too, perhaps, and again, take what resonates, but, maybe you haven't been in a relationship, but you just keep meeting people, if you are on the dating scene, right? There might be somebody that you haven't been able to forget, or your ideal, like, as the shaman, what you've been trying to manifest as a partner to bring in, right? And you keep meeting people that fit the karmic partner role, and you're starting to get frustrated and starting to think, these negative thoughts like, I'm never going to find this person, there's nobody, there's all of the good people are taken, blah blah blah. That that is going to be the reality that you bring in if you stay stuck in that energy. So I know it may be getting frustrating, if you keep having these encounters, but ask what, these people are, trying to show you, right? And I feel like, if that's resonating for you, then, the leap of faith may be, to really just focus on union with yourself instead of trying to find somebody. Because if you keep trying to find somebody and you keep getting somebody who's not all the things you want, you may be too focused on the outward, on the external, if that makes sense. So that, yeah, it's definitely getting some of that. One other message coming through could be for some of you, if the romantic stuff is not resonating, the adventurous, it could just be that you're too much wild, you're too out there, with just go 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 nonstop all summer, because we do, for the self-care, I wanted to do a sacred self-care card, because Leo, one of their stereotypes as far as one of their negative, like, traits, stereotypical, Leo energy is self-centered. Well, that's fine. It's actually a very good thing to be self-focused, in balance, right? Everything in balance. So I wanted to say, all right, it's Leo season. What ways does Spirit want you to engage in some more self-care? So we did get rest. So it's 4 and 3 adds up to 7. So it could just be you have a very, very busy July where you're just on the go, on the go, on the go. And it's saying, okay, like, come August, maybe try to really just slow down, and just take a breath, right? And that's a way to make your wishes come true, right? You've got the shooting star there, is to really just slow down, go within, and stop trying to, all this external validation, external stimulation, right? You're so focused on the outward that if you don't have balance within yourself, this union within yourself, then you can't bring in the things that you're trying to manifest. What I do want to read you guys, obviously, I mean, how much clarification could there be in this book, right? Rest, we know what that means. But what I thought was what was neat about these is that they offer a journal prompt. So I was just going to read you guys the journal prompt and leave you with that. That might help you with your work. As in addition to manifesting, I think journaling can be a very powerful tool. What patterns do you notice with respect to the amount of rest you're getting and how your body, thoughts, and emotions fluctuate? I like that. I like that a lot. Mantra, I am beaming with life force energy. Oh, okay, that's so cool. That's probably why we got that there. What patterns do you notice with respect to the amount of rest you're getting and how your body, thoughts, and emotions fluctuate? So if you notice when you're starting to have some uncomfortable feelings come up and you decide, you know what, I'm just going to book a trip and I'm going to go somewhere. Or I'm going to just go out with my friends. I'm going to go out on an adventure. I'm going to do this. And instead of sitting with the loneliness, instead of sitting with the wounds and the triggers that are coming up, if you just go and that's a pattern that you notice, right? You're not only running down your body maybe by just being on the go so much, but you're also not honoring your emotions. And that's something that you definitely, if you're not honoring your emotions, you're not admitting your feelings to yourself and letting yourself feel them, letting yourself really feel what it is that you're lacking, and examine deeply into that as to why you have to keep going and going for external stimulation. To take a step back, slow down, and just honor that part of yourself. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, group one. I do have availability, although things are getting kind of crazy with my schedule. I kind of feel like some of this was for me as far as the, just book a trip and go. And not face things, right? But I should follow my own advice. But if you guys would like to book a session, that information is down below, and we can look into either your natal chart, we can look into a reading, we can dive deeper into any of these topics that came up today or anything else that you guys would like to talk about. So I hope that was helpful. Take care. All right, guys, we're gonna switch over now. All right, number 2. Let's see if we can get this little guy to stand up. This is the Aura Agate Quartz. So if you did not watch number 1, I will go ahead and give you the synopsis here. That I already shuffled. I have not seen the cards, so I will lay them out here, and then I will try to set them up so you guys can see them in more detail. I think that worked really well with the setup for number 1. In some cases, some of the decks, we had 2 cards that wanted to come out. So we're going to see what fire sign vibe is going to be affecting you during Leo season. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Wow. Getting some major arcana in both of these. And I'm using the Dragon Tarot, which is one of my new tarot decks. Not one I created. It's a new one that I purchased, and it's absolutely stunning. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So, your fire sign vibe that you're working with right now is Temperance. This is the tarot card key that is associated with Sagittarius. So you might be a Sagittarius or have those placements or be dealing with a Sagittarius. You don't have to be, but it could, provide extra confirmation for you, extra help for you, if that's the case. So Temperance is a card of self-restraint and moderation. Now, for these tarot card keys and the tarot card key in this deck, this is the image that is also in my Sacred Union Tarot self-created deck. I did that on purpose because of the, I wanted to tie these together, and it is a tarot card key card again. So of course I'm going to want to use it's a tarot deck, my other one. But what's interesting is not all of these tarot card keys have fire in them. This one does. And so I think that's especially meaningful. I feel like, at least my intention, right, when I, use this image in the Sacred Union deck, it was about, feeling like you're going up in flames, like your desire, right? So for me on my journey, it had been years of celibacy, years. And the first year or two, this was pretty much how I felt every day. It did get easier in time, but this is like just the vibe I'm getting. We have a lot of fire here, but I'm getting that the fact that this is coming out, that you may have a little too much fire that you need to rein in, too much, um, yeah. So I'm getting, again, this could either be the romantic vibe was the first thing I was getting, but it could also be in a work sense, um, that your energy is too strong, that it's just like, needs to be pulled back a little, needs to be balanced. You might be driving people away or scaring people away, with your intensity. Fire sign energy is very intense. Um, so it could either be, like I said, yourself. You might need to be working on balancing this, the self restraint and the patience and the, so there are, what I would recommend in that regard is to do things that, um, you give yourself a creative outlet. So for me during this time, that when I was in this energy, that's when I started creating my decks. And I'm trust me, I'm not an artistic person. I'm not a very creative person. And I threw all that energy, that sacral energy that was consuming me, into creation, and it was absolutely beautiful. I also started I've always been into dance, so I do like hip hop dancing. So I was doing a lot of that, but then I also got into belly dancing. I did a month of lessons, interactive, online lessons for that, during the fall of 2020, and that was life changing. And I do see, from the statistics that, the few statistics I'm able to see on YouTube Studio, that most of my, at least in the last month, most of my viewers have been female. So that's why I tend to, talk to the viewer as if they're a female, but we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. But for me, getting into that, I very much have been an overly masculine woman. You guys know I don't look that way, but that's just the strong energy, right? I am a Sagittarius, right? So I already have like this intensity here. I'm in a masculine career. My day job is a lawyer, so I have to exist in a man's world, so to speak, um, in that setting. So my energy can be very intense, and the feminine energy is much more in the receptive mode, and to let things come to you. I feel like there could be an energy where you're being asked during this Leo season to just, which I know is not what we want to hear, but you're asked to continue being patient and to restrain yourself. What I'm getting, we have the Hierophant here, which is a beautiful, it's for me, if this is a romantic situation that we're talking about, the Hierophant represents the, like the ultimate spiritual union, like the 5D connection, um, just everything coming in, like it's that higher purpose, that the higher selves, like everybody, guiding you. You might feel the 5D energy, and then you don't see things coming to fruition in the 3D, and you're like, what the heck, right? Um, and this card, also, I do get vibes here, if it's a work situation, that's more, relevant for you. Like, this almost to me looks like a phoenix. I mean, I think it is a dragon because this is the Dragon Tarot, but it really almost reminds me of a phoenix. And you've got all the colors where all the chakras are there, and you've got all these animals that are like coming almost to like worship or to look up to this creature. So you've got all walks of life, right? You've got the iguana, the snake, the monkey, the leopard. They're all coming together. And so I'm getting that, like, there's this, like, you know, rising up, but just be sure that you stay balanced and not too, like, Seven of Wands. This one we had two tarot cards come out, which is interesting. Seven of Wands is a defensive, like, guarded kind of thing. And as you can see, this dragon is like defending its little babies, and it's got all these wands coming at it. So I'm just getting that, you yourself, you may have too strong of this intense fire, masculine energy that you need to balance. And I'm getting that too, because the animal totem affirmation for you is panda. I am balanced. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. And, pandas are black and white. That's the yin and yang. That's the masculine and feminine. That's just like getting everything in alignment. So that's why I'm definitely strongly getting that something's out of balance here. It could be that maybe you have a work situation where things have not been balanced for you, and you're like literally, like, it's like you're going up in flames, like, you feel like, because it's just consuming you, right? Maybe this is your boss that's like just like it's affecting your family life, because you've got the kids here. It's just like, I can't take this anymore. Like, these people won't leave me alone. And so you've been asking yourself, is it going to get better, or should I look for another job? What I'm getting is that, if you haven't already tried to talk to somebody there to change the situation, to implement boundaries, right? This is about standing your ground. And the Seven of Wands, 7-month July, we're in this time frame where I kind of feel like it's a come to Jesus moment, right? It's like all these little creatures are coming in, joining forces together to come talk to the big head honcho, right? So I feel like if you have done that, and it, or you do, and it's not successful, then I feel like, the answer is definitely time to move on. Because why is that? Here, guys, let's put this back here. Because from the Mystic Moon Oracle, we got the answer is yes. And this is not one of those yes or no decks. I think she might have a no and a yes in here out of 40, 50 cards, something like that. So what's interesting to me too is it looks like it's going up in flames. The answer is yes. So, take this for you however it resonates. There might be a specific question pertaining to whatever the situation is for you, be it romantic, be it job, and you've been wondering, what do I do? Am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? Whatever you've been asking yourself and toying with, the answer is yes. Okay? What I was getting is, it's time to move on if you've already taken the approach of trying to talk to these people in this situation, and it's not working. Now, again, this can still, I know I went into the work tangent a little bit, but I'm getting that, if this is more of a situation of you balancing your own energy, obviously that's something that you have control over. You have control over. And once you do that, I'm getting strongly the answer is yes. Once you balance yourself, whatever it is that where you've been, like, if you're too much, in your masculine energy, or you're too much in this intense energy, then you are like you're pushing something away, something that you want. If you keep pushing for it and going after it and trying and trying and trying, this person is going to close off to you, right? They're going to be like, what the heck? Like, I don't want this. This is too much. This is too intense. So I'm getting, if you pull yourself back, if you work on balancing yourself out and being in receptive mode, that this situation can improve. And, even if this person doesn't, again, because we can't control others, right? We can only control ourselves. You are definitely going to draw in something that is in alignment with where you are at that point. And when is that? Autumn. I just love this. This is beautiful. In the fall season, everything comes together and you reap wonderful harvests of abundance. So I'm getting that, this could be, if the abundance that, or the seeds that you're planting are for a relationship, I'm getting that there's definitely going to be progress in autumn. So fall equinox is usually when, like, the middle of September. So not far off, not far off at all. So use this time during Leo season to really try to rein in this fire, um, which I know is not an easy thing to do, but we can be too much in that energy. Everything in moderation, everything in balance, right? And just remember autumn. Now, what I was getting, with the self-care card that came out is read. And so that's where I was getting with, perhaps searching for a job. If that's something you've been contemplating doing, then I think this is confirmation. Yes, like, get yourself out there and look. Also, maybe start, studying a new skill. If that's something you've been wondering, maybe you should make a total career change, something that you are passionate about, something that is in alignment more with, your spiritual purpose, the higher font. Maybe seek out that area of study to help you make those shifts that you needed to make. So what I'm going to do here now is read the read card, the journal prompt, right? So as you're working through trying to balance your energy, I would suggest for sure getting your water. If you're trying to rein in that fire, water is definitely what you want to balance that out. Go swimming, go to the beach if you can. Just take a hot, relaxing bath. You could even buy, go to like Michael's, or maybe even Walmart has them. Not very expensive little fountains that you can get for inside your home. Like, let's say you work at home, or just, if you don't work at home, maybe your work environment, it might help balance things out. But they're just real little small fountains that some have Buddha on them, some just have little nature designs. But just to hear that running water, it can be very, very soothing, and it can help really kind of calm your mind. Maybe start using some essential oils. If you are a woman watching this, maybe dress in more feminine clothing. If you're like me, I work at home, and a lot of times I'm wearing sweatpants and, not putting makeup on and things like that. I definitely notice a difference in my energy when I put a dress on, when I put jewelry on, when I put makeup on, even if it's just go to the grocery store. It's very helpful for me to engage in that amount of self-care. So the mantra is, I enjoy expanding my mind. So I feel like that is, confirmation for a higher purpose, something else maybe that you feel like you're wanting to do with your life and your career at this point. You're being encouraged to do it. Journal prompt. What was your favorite book to read as a kid, and how does it make you feel to think about reading it now? That's an interesting one because, a lot of times looking back into our childhood, number one, it could bring up maybe some core wounds and things that why, to help you kind of figure out why you are so much in your masculine energy, right? Secondly, a lot of times we kind of reminisce and, oh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be, this, when I grew up. Well, when did that dream change? Why did it change? Is it something that you've been thinking about now, and maybe that it's time to make that switch? Also, what I'm getting to for some of you is tied to, if this is a more of a romantic sacred union connection, that you've been saving yourself for somebody, for a long time, not really putting yourself out there, and this person is, they feel that energy, right? And so I'm getting, like, with the read, like, is this like a fairy tale that you're creating of what this is going to be? And, you're neglecting yourself and getting things out of balance in your life. So, maybe you've been asking yourself if it's time to move on, and maybe try to find other, high vibrational connections. Once you work on examining, going within and balancing yourself, if this person still isn't showing up for you, then obviously, the answer is yes. That maybe, the fairy tales that you read as a child, that maybe you have that in your head of how this person is just going to suddenly come around and swoop in. And these are things I know that are not easy to hear. And I'm not saying that that person couldn't do that. I'm just saying I'm picking up on a very strong energy of where somebody is being repelled, and it's like a magnet. So the best thing you can do is focus inward and maybe journal out that, like, in what ways, write down all the ways that this person has shown up for you if you did ever date them, or maybe you didn't date them, and it's like, okay, what do I really really know about this person? What is it I like, and if you're seeing that, like, they've never really shown up for you, they've never been there, um, maybe some of it is a fantasy that you need to work through letting go with the upcoming new moons, I'm sorry, the full moon. That way by autumn, right, because we've got autumn, then you can kind of, if you've kind of started to work through this, balance yourself, let this fantasy go, you can start trying to bring in something real, something balanced. And we do have the Hierophant here again with the spiritual basis. So, so I hope that was helpful, guys. If you would like to schedule a session with me to look into this more, to look into Leo season, to look into your natal chart, any of those types of things, that information is down below. You can go to my website and see my availability there. All right. Oops. Okay, last but not least is the Rose Quartz. The Rose Quartz, we are going to see what your fire sign vibe is. If you guys haven't watched the first two, then I'll go ahead and give you an overview here. I've pre-shuffled these. I haven't seen them, so I'm going to lay them out here so I can kind of assess the energy, and then I will set them up here so you guys can see the cards as we walk through this. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, guys. So the fire sign vibe that you are going, that you're working with right now, or that's affecting your life. I don't want to say you're working with this, but you're dealing with, is non-committal. See if we can get this guy to stand up. He doesn't want to do anything, does he? That's so weird. Okay, there we go. Non-committal. You can see that this person's heart, this could be you, but I'm getting, perhaps you've been settling and putting up with somebody who is not committing to you, not giving you what it is that your heart is burning for, right? This person's heart is like behind this closed door. You can't see the picture that I used on this one. It's cut off, but it was like a I'm trying to think of the word that I want to say. It was like a kind of like a blast furnace type of thing, but there was definitely, it was like locked, and this flame was behind the heart. What I'm getting is, they may just be coming to you for sex, and you're settling for it, because there are wounds here, maybe that, you're not setting the boundaries that you need to set, to move on from this situation. But what you're being called to do, right now, and this is the Dragon Tarot, which obviously is associated with fire, which I love this deck. We've got death. So, and what's interesting is that this has been going on, I'm getting, a long time, because with the death card, I mean, a lot of time, you don't usually see skeletons in here. So this process, like, I feel like it's slowly been killing you, because I feel like there's just this pattern here, like, you don't want to let this person go, But deep down, like, you've been settling, right? We got the settling card here. You've been settling for this for a long time, settling for crumbs. And, what I'm getting is, like, for a while you were okay with accepting this situation as it is. Perhaps this person was honest with you. Perhaps they've told you that they don't want a commitment. And perhaps you were okay with that for a while. You were okay to take what they would give you. But what I'm getting is, you are, like, rising above it. Like, there's just, like, something that's, like, rising inside of you to the point where it's like, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. And I'm getting that it's just, like I said, it's been a long, long, long time coming with all these skeletons here. And it's like, this could be the dream that you had. Perhaps you had dreams about having a family with this person. And about them showing up as your king, right? Because we've got this crown here that's on the ground. And, it's becoming more and more apparent. Deep down, that. It's like this dark, I feel like it's this dark demon. It's like something, like, deep down, but you don't want to face it. Let me see here. I'm going to, because we've got, we had this, so the other piles had a couple, like, extra cards come out. I am going to, because we've got, for the animal totem affirmation, I heal my deepest wounds and reclaim my power. So I feel like not only is this person wounding you, right, over and over and over, they're slowly killing you every time they come around, or you think that you're over them, and then they come around again, and you settle for their behavior. Because you keep thinking and hoping they'll change. Because it talked about wounds, I'm going to pull out my my Triggers and Shadows Oracle deck just to get some more information about the deepest wounds that Spirit is talking about with the leopard. So let's see what here. What do you want them to know? Okay. And also, please, another card. Yeah. Okay. So we've got false mask, concealing inauthentic hidden emotions. So I think maybe in what's been eating you up inside is that, like, you're not, maybe, you're really wanting this person to change even though you won't, but it's like eating you up inside because you're pretending it's okay. Like, you've put on this facade, this, like, false mask, and you're not being yourself. You're not being your authentic self by allowing this to continue, by settling, by letting them slowly, like, keep coming back and killing you over and over and over again every time they pull away, every time they don't show, or you think, like, you think they might truly literally just, like, ghost you or not even show up. Like, they might come in and out of your life, but then even within the cycles where they're, quote, in your life, I feel like they may even not be reliable to even show up, like, even for sex. And so, this card that we've got here is the Be Yourself. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. What do you really want, right? And I feel like, too, this is like honoring yourself by, the unicorn to me here represents a fantasy, a fairy tale, and I feel like what we're being shown, this person, this could be them wearing a false mask too. Perhaps maybe they're married, and maybe they keep promising that they're going to commit to you once they leave the person, and you keep going through these cycles where they keep, again, over and over and over again, like, not committing, not showing up, not following through on their promises, and you keep settling for them. Like, they might be lying, right? This, like, the Pinocchio mask. So there could be that going both ways. But I think if you're honest with yourself, you're going to see and know and feel like that's what's the reality. The fantasy, right? You're not honoring yourself by hanging on to that anymore. And we'll get to this in a moment, because this is going to have its own connotation later, but we've got the sex card. This is for self-care. But what I'm getting here is like, you're not honoring yourself by letting this person put their hands on you ever again. That's not being true to yourself. But there's the shadow self here of you, the part of you that, and with the death card, that's definitely a shadow dragon there. There's a part of you that just like, obviously, sex does feel good. If you're with a really amazing lover, it might be something that you don't want to let go of. But it's like the shadow, like this comes out, like if you're not, emotionally, you're suppressing yourself if you're just focusing on the physical pleasure and settling and letting somebody hurt you in this way, right? So there's this wound of just like letting yourself, like, cause I feel like I feel like some of this is a self-love, right? Not being true to yourself and not feeling like you're worth anything else. And I think that stems because we've got the shame card from childhood. This says embarrassment, humiliation, self-blame. So you may have you may have had a parent, one or both parents, who blamed you for everything, shamed you, made you feel like you were not worthy. And that created insecurities, that have led you, you've based yourself like, oh yeah, well, they might not show up for me like emotionally, but that's okay because maybe you feel dead inside, right? Because of these things. Maybe all that you tell yourself all you've wanted was the sex, and that's, you're okay with that. But I feel like deep down, there's something, like I said, with this rising, like you're tired of the way you're being treated. And so I think really looking at your deepest wounds and recognizing, where this is coming from, will help you face your feelings, take off your own false mask, and stand up for yourself and what you truly want. So what I would recommend for you, and you can do it anytime. It doesn't have to be, during a full moon, but certainly powerful during a full moon. Especially with me recommending the fire burning ritual, right? So the next full moon, whenever that is in August, like I said, or anytime, you can do it multiple times, right? It's just maybe write a letter to yourself, to your inner child, to, if you can sit down and think of an incident that you remember consciously where you felt this way, and write that child a letter to tell them it's okay, to go back in time and try to, as yourself now, forgive that child and let them know it's not their fault, right? You could also write a letter of forgiveness to the parent or parents who made you feel that way, or authority figures who made you feel that way. And then, also write a letter to yourself now to forgive yourself for putting up with somebody who's treated you, for settling. Forgive yourself for settling for the things that you deep down don't want. It's important to forgive yourself as part of the journey to love yourself. And, write a letter to that person letting them go, and then burn these things. So the sex card, it's interesting. It came out, I pulled it as a self-care, but I think, number one, I'm getting that, if you are still physical with this person who's not committing to you, that, this is to become your own lover, and this is to not let them touch, your body anymore if they're not going to show up for you in all the ways that you want. Um, but so this is self-care, and I feel like this again is like just, you don't need a partner. Yeah, it feels amazing, and there's different things that you can experience. But if somebody isn't cherishing you, you can create your own experiences, your own connection to yourself and with the divine. The mantra, I'm experiencing the cosmic orgasm. Have your own incredible sensual experiences, right? Um, and the journal prompt, like when you're writing out, after you burn, then maybe you want to manifest during the Leo new moon. What kind of sexual experience would you like to call into your life? You know, do you want somebody who's just, you want somebody who's an amazing lover, sure. But do you want somebody who is going to make you feel shameful afterwards? All the times that they just blow you off and make you feel like that lost, abandoned, rejected child? Or do you want somebody who's going to show up for you and make love to not just your body, but your soul, your heart, your mind, your spirit, right? If that's what you want, call that in. But I think before, you try to call in another partner, I would strongly suggest, again, becoming your own lover and really examining the shadow self, and where that's stemming from, the shame aspect and the insecurity, and really work on self-forgiveness, self-love, and forgiveness of others in your life. So I know this one, wasn't an easy one for you guys, group 3, but I hope this was a helpful reading for you. You also may want to work with some rose quartz. That's a heart healer stone, so good for forgiveness. But if you would like to book a session to look into your specific information, and to look into your specific situation, I should say, and get some further insight into those core wounds and working through those things, that information is down below. Thanks so much. Take care. Until next time.